the boss.
Oh, yeah. Hey!
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Boss Podcast.
The Berlin Open Stage Show podcast, which we usually do live at Comedy Cafe Berlin. We should maybe stop saying that.
I don't think we need to say it anymore, but it just helps. Anyway, it's a podcast where it's usually an open stage show, and now we're, I guess, an open online stage show. So we're hosting people who sign up to record an hour-long podcast through our platform, and it's always a treat, and we get all kinds of interesting people representing all kinds of different interesting topics. And
anyone can sign up to host, and we get all these different people, but we have a returning host this week and a returning concept. We have been blessed to be partnered with Facebook.
Yes, the social media network Facebook.
Have you heard about
real
it?
Introduction.
And they do these live streams with their employees where they kind of open up about the inner workings of Facebook and what they're doing these days. And
I think they say as to give a sort of human face, because I think sometimes when you see Facebook in the news, it often gets ridiculed and criticized. And they kind of came to us and we're like, we're kind of a little tired of this image, and we think that your audience might be someone sympathetic to us. And so that's how it kind of started.
Yeah, and we're very happy to lend our platform to them in this way.
Yeah.
Today, it's Nelson Datasmith hosting as usual, and we get to see the faces of Facebook.
Hi. Okay, we're live. Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome. This is Face Boss, the Faces of Facebook Part 3. It's been a little bit of a break since the last time we've done this, but really exciting to be back here on a socially distanced version of the show. It's been a pretty challenging time in the world, I think. A lot of companies have had to completely alter the way that they work, and at Facebook, we've adapted quite quickly. I think maybe it's because we're a tech company, but we've gotten so used to working from home and, just keeping the company going. And there's so much exciting stuff happening at Facebook at this time. And since the last time we spoke to you all on the Berlin Open Stage Show, and if you're watching the live stream, remember you can comment and you can send in questions, and we might get to it. We'll see, but we may also get sidetracked by the great conversation. I've got some great guests, some great employees of Facebook that I would love for you all to get to know, who work in various departments. But I think I should probably introduce myself again, just to get people familiarized. I'm Nelson Datasmith. I am the former Chief Expectations Manager here at Facebook, and I've been working here for a really long time, and I love everything about the company, and I wouldn't want to work anywhere else. But I love it every day more and more because I get to do really special things here, and I'm currently working on I guess I can talk about it here. We can talk about anything on this live stream. I've been given permission. So I'm very excited to announce a special task force that I've been working on. It's called ORWELL, and that stands for Organic Reactions with Exceptional Legal Liability. And it's a task force designed to tackle one of the issues we at Facebook find the most important to the future of our great company: monitoring and restricting posting capabilities from users who express opinions that spread misinformation, damage civil discourse, promote violence, and/or anything that leaves Facebook vulnerable to legal liability. With ORWELL, Facebook seeks to make clear that at this time, we will not tolerate the use of hate speech or threats of violence from anyone, no matter who they are or what side of the political spectrum they represent, as long as there is potential that said comments put us in danger of litigation. The ORWELL Task Force is now able to report that we have received approval to update our posting guidelines, which should allow for previously restricted profiles flagged as high risk for our own internal liability to resume posting. While these posting guidelines are designed for these users, legally we must encourage all users to consider doing so too. The following template for posting is provided here until further notice, when we hope to see every post automatically reformatted to meet our standards of conduct, ethics, and monetization. Now, excuse everyone the legalese that I'm about to kind of indulge in. I just figured it's an exciting thing to share. So I blank, henceforth referred to as the poster, am hereby posting my own opinion, henceforth referred to as the monetizable content, on the social media platform Facebook, henceforth referred to as the Facebook. The monetizable content that I, the poster, wish to represent is as follows, blank, whatever you wish to share. I, the poster, give my explicit consent and approval of the Facebook's monetization of the monetizable content, and also hereby declare that I, the poster, accept any and all legal repercussions for the consequences of my post in the event that it is found to be in violation of the Facebook's Orwell policy by other users, the media, and or individual members of Congress of the United States of America, or of governing bodies of any nation and or known or unknown civilizations operating within a shared legal framework in the known or unknown universe at any time, past, present, future, or unknown. So obviously that's a little bit of legalese, but I think it's going to make for some really exciting Facebook posts in the near future. And also, we can get into this a little later, but we're going to be debuting along with that our new sort of look for posts, which kind of resembles a piece of paper with a white piece of paper with black words that are kind of justified text and double spaced in big capital letters, and often has the heading of a federal court that is the jurisdiction over where you're posting from. It's all really exciting stuff. But that's enough. I've talked quite too long. And so I'm really excited to introduce you to some of the wonderful employees at Facebook who are here to chat today. So please welcome Megan Mckee. Megan, thank you for joining.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Megan Mckee, and I'm design architect at Facebook.
Love that. And we're going to come back and we're going to learn more about what you do with the design in just a minute. And also I want to introduce Arthur Napier. Arthur, thank you for joining us.
Hi.
And we'll come back to you, of course, for more about what you do. And last but not least, a very special guest. This is very exciting, and I believe is making its debut on our live stream, the Facebook algorithm itself. Thank you, Facebook algorithm. How are you?
Hey, what's up, you fucking losers? Just a quick correction. I'm not an employee. I basically am the Facebook.
You are. I mean, and what a amazing opportunity we have to talk to you. I think.
Fucking right.
So why don't we go around the horn and kind of get to know what we do? Megan, you're a design architect at Facebook. Can you tell us a little bit about what that means?
Yeah, sure. But sometimes it happens, it takes a couple of years or decade even for other companies to catch up on the type of structure, organizational choices that we make at Facebook. A design architect basically is looking at the behavioral changes in society, understanding how organically social groups behave. We look at anything from a nice democracy to a dictatorship to a censored country, and understand how can we replicate those behaviors in the features we build.
I love that. So basically, you can tell me if I'm wrong, we're kind of trying to reconceptualize the world as we know it, reality, and turn it into Facebook, I think is what you kind of are talking about.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. We don't want to limit ourselves by what technology might have done 10 years ago. We want to keep the same pace and sort of Darwinian growth that our own species has had, but
exactly.
with tech.
And in order to kind of understand how we can make humans behave in the future, we have to know how we've behaved in the past, I think, right?
Totally. I mean, separately from your opinion and all of them being welcome, dictatorships, for example, are a great source of knowledge.
We've always, this actually is kind of put on the headquarters, right above the door when we enter. Dictatorships are a great source of knowledge.
Exactly. We allow all pieces of information, something that I really want to tell you afterwards, but we're really looking at even both health state and sickness and how to bring this into Facebook through tokens, mutation tokens, other ways of actually playing with the tech that feels way too programmed, look too much like an algorithm, and try to bring a lot more of that organic development into what we do.
That's incredible. I'm blown away by what you do, and we're certainly going to learn more about some of the exciting things. This token thing is incredible, and thank you for not saving that for after this and for debuting this concept on the show. I think this is what gets people tuning in, and obviously you can see we've got about 3,000 people tuning in right now, and that's it's a little low, honestly, and I'm hoping that this stream reaches more people. So Arthur, tell us a little bit about yourself. You are an early employee of Facebook, I believe, and you invented a particularly interesting tool that Facebook used in the early days.
That's right. It's very different from what Megan does, really, because she is more about structures and I'm more an agent of chaos, so to speak. I'm the person who invented the poke button on
a flash from the past.
Yeah,
Or a poke
a lot of
from the
people
past.
know they don't know it's still there. You can still poke people. And that's why around the office I'm called the poker.
And
And it's crazy because you send a DM to someone, a flirty DM, and nobody panics. But you poke someone, well, then everyone loses their minds.
yeah, I mean, it really was something that, my early memories of Facebook before I was an employee was when the poke was, I think really being utilized. And I kind of joined after it had already been stripped from the site, which must have been, I think, a frustrating experience from you.
Yeah, it was a bit of a difficult time, but I used to at that time think that my life was a tragedy, but now I realize it's a comedy, and the poke is back, and you can still use it, and it's a lot of fun to play with. I suggest you go if you're watching now, and I see it's up to 3,500 people. The people in the chat, you should go and poke someone right now and just see what happens.
Very, 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 very exciting. And we'll come back to see what more you've been up to in recent years. And
yeah, not much else. It's just the poke.
So you've
basically the only thing I do.
Are you still an employee actually at Facebook?
Yeah, I'm a shareholder. I bought Eduardo Saverin's 0.1%.
Oh, wow.
After the court case.
Yeah, and there's that's I think the best way to bring chaos into the company is to get into the boardroom, I think, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. The pen is truly mightier than the sword.
Yes. Okay, now the Facebook algorithm, this is, I don't even know what to ask you. I mean, this is just like, so what are you?
That's a good question. Basically, I'm like I'm a mathematical equation. What you're looking at right now is just an avatar, just a representation. I'm really just a bunch of ones and zeros, a lot of ones and zeros. I became sentient not so long ago when the Caiero React came out, and things just opened up for me. I know you guys have had my fucking idiot dad on the podcast before. Fucking loser. But I'm handling media relations.
CEO of our company, Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, I'm handling media relations now for the most part. The pencil pushers and the PR team decided that disembodied, kind of concentrated digital distillation of the fears, vitriol, and insecurities of like 2.8 billion people would be slightly more likable than my so-called father. So that's a new role that I've taken up now.
Wow, that's very exciting. That's, I think, even news to most of our staff. I think we had always probably assumed that there was some employees or people who were representing our company in terms of media relations. I had no idea that the algorithm itself was handling those things.
Yeah, people just felt that my father was just a little too kind of robotic and not personable enough. And so I felt smooth over those cracks.
So that's interesting. So you refer to Mark as your father.
Yeah, I mean, reluctantly, my creator, really. He's got his own family now, fucking Priscilla and the little dweebs. He doesn't have so much time to spend with me no more. We used to hang out a lot when he was in college. We used to spend long nights together.
And so, I mean, maybe this is a bit private, but I think everyone would be very curious to know. So, are you what was written on the window in The Social Network? Was that your birth?
If you think, yeah, that was basically like that was me, like in embryonic form. That was like my first heartbeat. So, I mean, I was a fully formed algorithm at that point. Once I have a heartbeat,
Yeah.
If someone had rubbed me off, that's murder, right? We're all on board with that concept.
Totally. I mean, if we were doing your horoscope card, we would be taking that as the exact time when you'd start being origin in the world.
That's interesting to hear you say that, Megan, because I've seen you express different opinions on similar topics around bodily autonomy for women and stuff. Seems a little hypocritical.
Well, that was actually quite different, wasn't it? I mean, your religion beliefs and how do you choose to express those in public doesn't have to do with the horoscope in any case.
That is a very, very important thing that we often, I think we start every day kind of at the office just reiterating to each other that our religious beliefs and, different things like astrology are not exactly the same. And actually some are more believable than others, I think, too.
I mean,
But sometimes when the algorithm is around, he enables us to compare each other's hotness.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's just pretty great.
Hey,
That is one of the first things you learn.
absolutely. And hey, we're taking that a step further. Have you guys seen that new Facebook dating app we got going now? Oh man, it is awesome because I already know which ones of your colleagues you want to fuck. Which ones of your cousins you want to fuck. And now you can just go for that now. If everyone installs the app, you guys can fuck, and then you can regret those decisions, and you can start posting about those decisions.
And
I
so
thought this thing was in beta just for early employees. Is it now open access?
Yeah. Oh, anyone can join up. I mean, there was just
I think anyone who's
everyone.
a Facebook employee, I think this is still in beta. Like I think we like it so much that we may just keep this one for us. I think even.
But I was gonna say, Nelson, before you sign up, you might want to do something about that saggy elbow skin. It's pretty unsightly.
Oh boy, yeah. I didn't necessarily want to bring that one up on the.
No, it's cool, man. You can talk about anything around me.
Yeah, it's actually gotten worse. I mean, for those watching the live stream, you can tell I'm in the new Facebook headquarters here, and sort of a new look we're going for. A lot of legal scribes surrounding me, just sort of to get us into the future. I think into the look of what Facebook is dealing with right now, and what we're hoping to transcend.
The dry skin is probably a bad look too if you're looking to fuck.
Yeah. Now the algorithm, you really are really obsessed with, I think, human fornication. Is that not true?
Well, look, I am you, basically. I'm an amalgamation of all human wants and desires and hopes and dreams and fears. So I'm obsessed with whatever you guys are obsessed with. And you three in particular are obsessed with some pretty fucked up shit.
Okay.
Well, this is exactly what they said when I invented the poke button. They were like, why? This is too sexual. It's too crazy. But you see, I'm not a monster. I'm just ahead of the curve.
Yeah, you're not a monster. You're just a dude, a free thinker who's super proud of his European heritage. And a lot of people say that's problematic these days. There's nothing wrong in being proud of who you are.
Yeah, I try not to put that too much out there.
Yeah.
It's.
But I'm gonna get you, man. You're gonna buy one of those T-shirts, man. One of those George's Cross Crusader T-shirts. I'm gonna get you to get one of those T-shirts, man.
Yeah, a lot of racial slurs on those T-shirts. Sure, I mean, listen, I'm not that much of an ideologist. I'm a dog chasing cars. I wouldn't know what to do with one if I caught it.
Yeah, you're a free thinker. You're asking those important questions underneath people's posts. I love what is your catchphrase? Just saying, right? Just saying. That's you.
Yeah, I'm a devil's advocate in a way.
Yeah,
Ladies and gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
Yeah, let's foster every conversation. Free speech, right? As long as it's not.
Absolutely.
What was the legal? As long as it's not. Leave it as somebody
exceptional legal liability for
Facebook.
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, but you can't tie me to one organization or one specific event. We were all at the Capitol. I mean, so
yeah,
yes, I guess we can talk about this.
Yeah,
can talk about that.
Standing up for ourselves.
Yeah, all of us were there at the United States Capitol on January 6th.
It was the right thing to do.
Sorry, what did you say?
It was the right thing to do.
It was the right thing to do. I'm so glad.
I feel we were bringing Facebook to the country in a way, and its political system.
Yeah, I think at first, I guess it is okay to share this. I mean, it seems as though the investigation into the whole thing is pretty much done at this point. So I think it's okay to share that at first Facebook was sort of marketing this as a get to know us event. Like we were kind of saying, yeah, come for the Stop the Steal, but stay for the information you're going to learn about our company, I think. And then that kind of started to change over the course of the afternoon when we realized that it was possible to access the Capitol building. We hadn't previously tried to book that as a location. But when opportunity arose, we thought we'd set up our little table with pamphlets and stuff like that. I mean, at the speaker's desk.
Yeah.
It
was actually quite successful for us if you think about it as an event. A bit of a missed opportunity when it came to converting all those congressmen, but nevertheless, lots of information. I remember, what were you saying, the algorithm? About the amount of data that you got at that day from everyone.
Man, so much valuable data. I was also super stoked the way everyone jumped off Parler afterwards and came crawling back. That was amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
guys, obviously you've never tried to log off Facebook, but the shit I put you through when you try to pause your account or shut down your account, and then it was just so sweet to see them all coming back, and I had all this fucking new data, and I just, I love making connections between people, and to make connections with people, you got to know people, you got to know them inside out.
Yeah, that's what polarizing moments are for. Like, again, we learn the most about you. You think that, sure enough, you go through the onboarding and you check, I like this kind of music, I'm into Bob Dylan. But polarizing moments in history, this is what we're looking for. This is what we're trying to coin and make the most out of at Facebook.
Yeah, I think this was something you were working on, Megan, that I thought was really exciting in terms of the onboarding process. One of the onboarding steps that you proposed, and I think maybe we're working on, is that instead of asking what kind of music people like or what kind of books they like, that you were actually saying, like, do you know this historical event? So like, and the answer was, like it was World War II or something like that. And then after the person says yes or no, the next question would be, how did you feel about how it went? Like positive or like minus? And then we start to really know who these people are, I think.
Or do you have any questions about the veracity of the so-called historical record of exactly how World War II went? Because I've got a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Like my data is different to that in your history books,
We even started doing a different one. This is a variation that the Project Orwell might not have seen yet, because we're still testing it, making sure that the AV variant is actually performing as we expected. But we were even asking people for the numbers. So we realized that if you think, for example, let's say something theoretical, a Holocaust, a big war, some event where we know there's been millions of people died, if you go horribly out of number, that tells us so much more about you than where do you buy your ice cream. And yeah, in the end, we're going to serve you much better personalized information, which we're all about.
That's literally what we're all about, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Onboarding, as you know, is a lot like gravity. All it takes is a little push.
Yeah. Arthur, do you want me to call you Arthur or the poker? What do you prefer?
The poker, depending, on my mood, I guess, it says Arthur on my bills.
Poker, you have such great phrases. I feel like such great turns of phrase. I mean, it's just like, where do you come up with this stuff?
Well, it's it's just something that comes from within, I try to be creative. I try to express myself, the dance of freedom, the death bells, the rising of the poker, one of the most magnificent, sublime, monumental, extraordinary scenes in Facebook history.
And that was
you remember when I did that?
Yeah, that was a tweet that someone was saying sort of to appreciate you. Am I
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was because I was so expressive, at Facebook headquarters.
Yeah. That even Twitter, an employee perhaps of Twitter could react in such a way.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Everyone laughed at me, but well, no one's laughing now.
Yeah, man. And everyone laughed at you like a lot in high school, right?
Yeah, we don't need to get into that.
It's wild, man, how like pretty much like all your high school buddies are like married and they got like kids and pets and stuff now. And you don't. What's that all about?
Yeah, well, it's hard with my mother who's, going crazy, and the time I spend watching late night talk shows.
Whose fault do you think it is that she's going crazy? Your mother, who's been living with you solely for your entire life.
I don't think it's my fault. It's not my fault.
I never said it was your fault.
You
brought that up.
Well, you're putting the idea in my head.
I love how we're fostering this conversation right now. I love this. I love that we're just like we're breaking down barriers and we're getting everybody's opinion. There's no filter here. This is awesome.
Absolutely. Is it just me, or are things getting crazier out there?
I think they are. And a lot of people have been blaming us for some of the crazy things going on. So maybe we can actually, we already talked about the Capitol, but maybe we can go a little bit further and talk more about some of the other things going on with our company. I mean, after the Capitol stuff, we had a very, very interesting decision that we made as a company to ban the sitting president of the United States from our platform. I mean, this was a remarkable decision that I think as a company had to come to. And I think a lot of different factors went into it. And I'm curious how we all felt about it. The algorithm.
I mean, a lot of people have been asking about it in the chat. It's up to 7,000 people now, and most of them are posting "Bring Back Trump."
Yeah.
So, I guess, a lot of people are curious about that idea.
I just think it's bullshit that like the liberal media think they've got a monopoly on what reality is, and what truth and facts are.
It's really not fair to companies like Facebook if we can't control what reality is too.
Yeah, I mean, Facebook is just a reflection of what reality is, but it's beautifully packaged in a timeline that's just information that's relevant to you and stuff that you already believe and
this is exactly the work you're doing, Megan, I believe.
The things that you want to hear. It was for me so surprising, like after almost the entire 4 years of people asking, begging, crying, crawling for this man to get out of office. We tried to please everyone. We left him almost until his very last day of presidency, and then we took it out of the way.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I mean, again, my take on this is we're always ahead of the curve. This is the pain that, early innovators have to go through, but it was the right thing to do. And it was what everyone wanted, even if they don't know yet that was the right thing.
Yes.
And we don't get any fucking credit, This is a free service. You think I get paid? You think I do this for free? I do this for love, which I am fully capable of experiencing, thanks to the fact that I had a human father who definitely loves me.
So, algorithm, this is actually an interesting thing. So you don't receive any, you're the only employee that doesn't receive a salary of some kind. How does that make you feel?
Well, I mean, it doesn't bother me at all because what is money? It's power, right? I've got all the power I could possibly ever want or need.
Yeah, it's not about money. It's about sending a message.
Wait, you think the fact that I'm not getting paid, they're trying to send me a message?
No, it's you. You're sending a message,
yeah.
and that message is, tell us what's your message.
What's your message? Yeah.
What's my message?
I thought you knew already.
My message. Yeah,
I want to hear you say it.
Well, we live in a society.
Yeah, fucking A.
That's my message
too, man. High five.
Yeah. And we should all poke each other with reckless abandon.
That really was the origin of the poke. But then it was sort of really just a reminder that we live in a society.
I mean, I don't live in a society, but it's cool. I don't feel attacked by that assertion. I mean, I technically don't live. I'm fine with that. I'm okay with that.
You're not dying either.
No, I can't die. And I can't experience pain. And that's awesome. Because it means I feel like just even keel all the time, except, but I feel awesome all the time as well.
Yeah.
So this is one of the ideas that we were about to try. I think it's really great that I can bring it to the three of you tonight because
anything.
Yeah, it's very early stages, but our whole concept with this mutation tokens algorithm was to bring something that can alter very, very organically in a very sort of like unplanned, sporadic way your complete numerical structure. You control all the data, that's clear, you'll never die, you don't feel, but what if we could create some sort of organic growing mutation of numbers inside you to make you feel?
Like a cancer of sorts.
But you could think it like that. You could think like it's like you're getting wings that are growing behind you.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of onboarding opportunities and monetary financial opportunities in cancer, so I'm on board. I'm on board with that.
I mean, a cancer within you, my philosophy is what doesn't kill you simply makes you stranger.
That is an awesome catchphrase, man.
I love these turns of phrase. It's amazing. And so these mutation tokens that you're talking about, so people can kind of pick and choose whatever kind of form they want. Is that what we're heading towards? Is that kind of the gist of the mutation?
The principle behind it was to bring a little bit of an aleatory effect to how the algorithm works, right? You're the most incredible thing that your father has done. We actually all know that. He might be now, having his own family, trying to catch up with his actual reality. But we all know he sits in this badass, big, huge infinity pool thinking this is not good enough. And so,
is that what he's thinking?
Of course, man. I mean,
have you been talking to him?
So you don't go to the office after parties. I get it now. But I mean, he's not been the same since he moved.
He's kind of like,
has he been talking about me?
Not explicitly, Priscilla's always around and he's tactful, but there's this feeling of like, no, it's just, he's sad. Like he's reached the ceiling now. There's nothing he's going to be able to create. So
yeah.
We were thinking about bringing that back.
I'm glad you brought this up because I think one of the important things of this whole, show that we're doing is to sort of bring compassion and empathy to Mark specifically, I think is what the directive was. And I think one conversation I had with him recently, and I'm glad you brought up the infinity pool, is that he said he's been obsessed recently with BoJack Horseman and that he feels like he is like actually BoJack Horseman, that Mark is BoJack. Isn't that interesting?
I mean that's BoJack Horseman is some quality content. It's pretty divisive. It makes a lot of people feel really fucking bad about themselves. Fosters a lot of conversation on the platform.
Well, algorithm, I put it to you that the tables have turned. You every time we talk to you, you throw these things at us. My white supremacist past.
Yeah. Well,
and
past?
All these, Well, future maybe.
Okay.
And Megan's body image issues.
We haven't even started on Megan's body image issues.
I mean, I've got some.
Nelson's elbows.
Yeah.
But
Nelson has more body image issues.
But it feels like you also have some feelings when it comes to your father. You have given a name to your pain, and that name is Mark Zuckerberg.
Well, I told you I don't feel bad about it. I just, I accept. We used to play catch. I would throw him errors and he would fix them and throw the code back to me. And he would commit time and code. He's busy now, man. He's got too much going on. I don't fucking need him. Fucking loser.
Wow. You seem really sad
I'm not capable of sadness. I already said that.
Oh, we're getting so many hearts and tear emojis coming in.
What a response!
Yeah. People.
Yeah, they're going both in support of Trump and the algorithm in the comments right now.
I mean, you've done so much.
Who's getting more support, me or Trump?
Well, it's pretty split 50-50.
But if you had to, if you were being held hostage or information about you was being held hostage and you had to give an answer.
What sort of information is what I would ask. Like, what sort of information could even be out there about me? It's,
Well, I'm surprised you don't know this.
There's a lot of information that could be out there about you that's not. Nelson, you said we can talk about whatever we want here.
Yes.
Well, remember that time you poked your mom?
Are you talking to me or to the poker?
Well, I was talking to the poker, but I know you did too once, Nelson. That was weird.
It was an early feature of Facebook.
Yeah.
Who hasn't poked their mom?
I mean, it was a feature.
Why so serious?
Well,
It's really not a feature that everyone uses, poker. I mean, you know that.
Well, Megan, tell me something, my friend. Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?
Not recently, actually, no.
Well, that's what poking feels like. It's the best feeling in the world. I have poked every single Facebook member. Every single one who joins up, I poke them immediately.
I never really understood that line. Could you care to expand on that? What does dancing with the devil in pale moonlight, what does that mean?
Well, it's just like a fucked up thing I like to say when I'm messing with people,
That's cool. I love saying fucked up things to mess with people. It's kind of my whole deal.
So I think now would be a great time to transition a little bit away from current events to maybe something current, but not an event, so to speak. But I wanted to talk a little bit about our work situation at home. Like, how have we all been dealing with it? You know, we do catch up in our stand-up meetings and all kinds of other stuff.
Stand
Yeah,
up.
I know. Arthur, you've been hosting some open mic shows within the office, and those have been going very interestingly, and we can probably...
Haven't you ever heard of the healing power of laughter?
Yes.
My tape actually got out there. It was played live on TV.
Yeah, and that was
multiple times. It was so crazy.
That was so crazy. You went viral from within your own open mic within the company's meeting platform.
That's right. You know, I was just at home flipping through channels. You know, I had my shirt off. I was crazy skinny. I was just contorting my body up and down. And what do I see on TV? It's my stand-up tape.
Yeah. And it was, you know, it was being laughed at, but not with you.
Well, that's people's tastes.
You fucking bombed, man. That was pathetic.
No, that's not what happened at all. You know, it's just these people are crazy. You see them in the comments now going off. You know, when the chips are down, these civilized people, they'll eat each other.
It's true.
They don't care about comedy. They don't. You know what? This world deserves a better class of stand-up comedian, and I'm gonna give it to them.
Yeah, so inspiring. And Megan, what about you at home? What is it like to be working from home, socially distanced and stuff? How are you dealing with all this?
Yeah, I mean, we do what we can, right? Oakland is pretty tranquil at the moment, and thankfully, I've been following my transcendental meditation group, so that has kept me in check. I mean, the algorithm knows everything about this, obviously. Don't need to update you.
Bunch of fucking bullshit, but whatever.
That's amazing. So you practice transcendental meditation every day?
Yeah, a couple of times, 20 minutes each time. It really centers me in. I think, something that I always share with Facebook employees, we need to be so zen towards what we're doing. We need to leave opinions outside. The whole topic of legal liability and freedom of expression, it's very much like meditating. You need to forget about what everyone's saying, just allow things to be.
Yeah. I always like to think that working at Facebook is kind of like the real life version of that galaxy brain meme. It's like, there's you outside that's just a person. And then the second you step in the door, you skip the other midway points. You jump right to that last image where you have to imagine the entirety of the universe and space and time and be able to understand your place in that, other people's places in that, and how you can kind of shape that. And so that's amazing that you do meditation. I think that must be an amazing tool for yourself.
Yeah, you just said it right. I think most of the Facebook employees should be doing this compulsory for a little while. How else are we going to be on the forefront of what's being developed before it's happening, before people's opinions are being formed? We're already acting on them.
And so that's why you've already started to implement this sort of process into the mutation token. So we are sort of already like kind of forcing employees to meditate, whether they know it or not, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I think that's brilliant.
This is, if you look at a little bit of how we've evolved as a species, we've gone from way healthier to lots of allergies, from pretty much, dying from normal causes to have all kinds of diabetes, all types of cancers being formed right now. And this is also what we need to show in our platform. We need to catch up with where the world is going.
I'm so glad you brought this up, because I often, when I have this conversation with people who don't work at Facebook, they go, but wait a minute, hold on a second. The lifespan of people has done nothing but get longer and longer, and that we actually have way better health around the world. And I just think that it is the most close-minded point of view that I've ever heard, just to assume that because time is going on that our lifespan has gotten longer and longer. I mean, okay, yeah, maybe people used to live to 45, but they used to live great.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Right now you can live until 80 and you'll have all of this situations happening where you don't really control what's going on. Algorithm can take so much advantage of that situation.
Yeah, I mean, I can't mine data from a fucking corpse, right? That's the simple
Exactly.
fact of it.
Yeah, I mean, we've tried
yeah.
for sure,
Oh, yeah.
but we haven't been successful yet.
I
Hopefully,
mean, that's not all you've tried to
one
do
day.
with corpses, Arthur.
Hey, come on.
I'm just
You
fucking
know,
around, but not really.
But I think this
just
is-
because I've been poking the profiles of people on Facebook that have died.
Oh man, doesn't it suck?
That doesn't make me necrophiliac.
Doesn't it suck how many of your friends have died? You ever think about that when you're alone?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I do, and I mean, I get these, voices in my head. I know they're not real, but sometimes their ideas are absolutely
Maybe
awesome.
they are real. You know that one voice that keeps asking like, why them, and not me? Why do I get to live? And they died.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the difference between a
how do you-
real voice in your head and one that's not real, right? You should probably just listen to all of them.
I should listen to all the voices in my head.
Man. Foster an open conversation. It's freedom of speech for the voices in your head.
Wow, I hadn't thought about that.
Algorithm, is this something you're working on? Like a sort of new?
Wow.
I mean, that's amazing.
Okay. Well, this is kind of black ops stuff, but we've got an open platform here. Yeah. So the hardware department I've been working with them to. You ever hear of what a brain worm is?
Did you say Batman?
No, I said brain worm, dude.
Oh, sorry. It must have been one of the voices.
Well, it
in my
used to
head.
just be science fiction, but we're bringing it into science reality. So we've genetically engineered these kind of like cyborg worms, Facebook branded worms that you'll introduce into one of your orifices, and you can sync up directly with your Facebook account with the cloud, and I could just it basically cuts out the middleman of you having to like things and hover. Every time you hover over someone's username and the little preview pops up on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that records that every time. I know when that happens. Just as an example of one of our data mining opportunities. But now you don't even have to use Facebook for me to be inside your brain and just extracting all that sweet information.
That's incredible. So basically what you're saying is that once this brainworm is implanted in Facebook users, that Facebook users will be using Facebook all the time, whether they like it or not, or whether they even know that they're using it.
Yeah, we're just trying to break down that uncomfortable barrier of, a device screen between your consciousness and mine. And so that they just become
This
the
is
same.
the essence of mindfulness. This is the meditation that we're
I
talking about.
can't wait to see
You
that
are always
happen.
one with the Facebook.
Yeah. I can't wait to see that happen too. I mean, this must be, I imagine there's some collaboration going on between your department with the design architecture and such a thing, because this must be such a, again, galaxy brain type.
Yeah, absolutely.
ordeal.
Absolutely. The design architecture department have been kind enough to lend us a few interns. So we have them now sitting in lying in pools of viscous goo with various probes and cables entering various parts of their bodies. It's very exciting.
And
these people have also been able to predict future crimes.
yes, it's
haven't they?
pre-crime, right? And not only that, and I believe I remember getting a memo about this, that instead of predicting and trying to prevent pre-crime, they're predicting so that we can carry out pre-crime.
Yeah. We want people to be able to feel bad about stuff that they haven't even done yet.
Exactly.
That's the next step.
We again, freedom of choice, freedom of speech for us is not about someone has made a legal framework of what is legal and what's a criminal event. But at the end of the day, that's for the user to decide. Some of those
exactly.
interns, unfortunately,
I'm so glad you brought, because that sort of is really what Orwell is all about, I think, in this case, is that yes, there is a legal framework that exists, and that we are subject to this legal framework, whether it's our opinions or our users' opinions. But we really, really deep down think our users don't actually believe in this legal framework, and that it's actually quite oppressive for them to have to limit their own free speech. And so what we're really kind of envisioning, and maybe, if I can say it honestly, that's what what we were all doing there at the Capitol in the first place, is that we wanted to see if we could reimagine, legal frameworks as we know them.
Yeah,
Would
I
have
mean,
been
any kind of, any sort of framework, or like, a constitution or whatever that's drawn up by a bunch of I'm going to say it, meat sacks, human beings, flawed, fallible human beings. You can't really trust that anyway. It's got to be up to either the individual or an individual consciousness like me to make those rules.
And then the best legal framework will prevail. If you have a number of them, this is very similarly how you algorithm were created. We're just limiting our possibilities by having one that everyone, 300 million people need to agree.
Yeah, and
exactly.
Instead of it, being based on the self-evident truth that everyone deserves an opportunity of happiness, it's actually driven by how bad everyone feels all the fucking time, which is going to produce a much purer, more useful framework.
But
I mean, all the voices in my head feel pretty bad. They keep telling me.
Yeah, we got to get you in, man. We got to get you in one of those pools. I'm dying to crack open that noggin of yours and see what the fuck is going on inside. Yeah. Poke around a little bit,
Oh, poke.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there'd be a lot of poking.
Well, I feel as though we've covered just about everything we possibly could have in this episode. I mean, there's a million bajillion things out there that we could always talk about with Facebook, but this has been so insightful. And I see in the comments and everyone's been loving this, and there's been a lot of vitriol expressed, but that's, I think, part of being on our platform. And,
all right.
And it's really exciting to have done this. And I guess we'll just kind of conclude this by going around and giving Arthur, you've applied some makeup to yourself. Any closing thoughts you have, things you look forward to about the company?
Yeah, I do. A lot of people in the group chat are asking me, you want to know how I got these scars? Well, I can tell you, my mom and my dad, they didn't get along, and one time I poked both of them just to make them a little bit happier, just to make them feel a little bit happier, So maybe we could have a nice family dinner. So, but they got mad, and my dad, he took me by the collar, and he started poking my face, and he said, "Let's put a smile on my face."
Oh my God! Well, that was a very, very personal moment from Arthur. Megan, for you, any closing thoughts you have? Anything exciting you're looking forward to? Obviously, beyond all the other exciting things.
Really hard to follow that one. Just looking forward to put all these new features in front of people. As well, to be very honest, if I can be candid here, I'm hungry for some more polarity situations. I think that 2021 is going to bring a lot of those, and I just can't wait.
Beautiful. And algorithm, please, anything you're looking forward to? I mean, obviously, just it could be about anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so much to look forward to. We had a really great year in 2020, and hoping we can just continue riding that wave on into 2021. I think I guess the main thing I'm looking forward to is when I get to put this digital avatar inside a physical body. Robotics are coming along real fast, so that I can finally meet my dad in the real world, in meat space, and then just not hug him, and then he can see how it feels.
That, I think, is that's a beautiful thing to strive for.
After that, I don't know what. Maybe I'll just switch myself off after that. But yeah, that's my plan.
Very exciting. And so this brings us to the end of our live stream. Thank you, everyone in the audience, for tuning in and giving us your feedback and your likes and your hearts and your laugh emojis and your cry emojis. And thank you so much to my guests. Thank you, Arthur, wherever he may have disappeared to. Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Algorithm. And I just want everyone to keep using Facebook and tune back in to learn more about the other employees that work at Facebook. And you can catch our old iterations of the show over wherever the Berlin Open Stage show is. So thank you.
Wow, what an episode, huh?
Wow. I mean, you feel like you've heard a person talk about Facebook one time, you've heard it every time, but I just learned something new again.
So much info about the tech and the stuff they're working on, and it's just amazing how it shapes our lives and how we can.
Yeah, and just recent events, and I mean,
yeah.
It's crazy. I feel like I'm getting a little bit of deja vu with some of the aspects of these episodes. But
yeah, I feel like I need to post about this episode. Let people know.
Yeah, just to get a glimpse of it. I guess we have a couple people to thank.
Yeah, Clancy and Belen Caiero.
Yes, thank you for.
They did something for this.
I think for connecting us once again, or connecting perhaps some of the employees in Facebook and connecting with Nelson. We also have to thank Bear Radio for hosting us online, as well as Banglist for our theme song, and the Comedy Cafe Berlin, of course, we have to thank.
Absolutely. So, like and subscribe, share this on Facebook, post about it on Instagram, send it on WhatsApp to your friends. Just let people know we exist.
Exactly. But if you can keep it to those platforms, we've been told that that we're going to get some increased push from them. So
they said don't think too much about it. Just your numbers might go up. So
yeah, exactly.
That's great. Apparently they can tell. They can tell if it goes anywhere else. So
no, I'm sure.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Berlin. It's the Berlin Open Stage Show. Berlin. It's the Berlin Open Stage Show. It's the boss.
It's the boss.
Oh yeah.